World Fight fans here with a very special guest this evening, the one and only, the man who defended his title twice in one day, David Baby Hawk Wilson. What's going on, champ?
Yeah, what's good? What's good? Thank you for having me.
No, the pleasure's all ours, champ. So let's get straight into it. Your fight against Viking on Scarface Street Beef's YouTube platform is currently at 33 million views, plus other fights with millions of views. Take us back to your thoughts and feelings when you first went viral, and how much did Street Beefs help you with your amateur career?
Oh, dude, that's a great question. I always think about that fight because that's the one that most people know me off of. That's the one that blew up. Man, I'm big into meditation and like manifesting things and like that whole training camp leading up to that. Uh, Two things really kind of stuck out to me. One, I was landing my overhand right in practice a lot. My coaches said it was one of my best weapons, so I was already feeling confident about that. And something just told me like this was going to be like one of my better performances because honestly, up until then, I had not been, you know, happy with my performances. I never thought I shone like I was supposed to, and everything came together, man. Had a great performance, great crowd, and just the people just seemed to really gravitate to that video, and it took off from there. And as far as
Absolutely.
helping me with my yeah, and as far as helping me like with my amateur career, it does it it definitely helps promoters like somebody who can has a fan base who they think could sell tickets for their event.
Okay. So you're from North Carolina. Can you tell the fans what neighborhood you're from and what your childhood was like growing up there?
So it's funny. I was raised in Wilmington, North Carolina, but I'm originally from North New Jersey. Spent till I was about eighth there, then moved around the south a little bit, and then middle school landed here, man. Wrestled for Harvard High School, did a couple years at the University of Pembroke. So I've called Wilmington home for a long time now.
Right. Okay. So you're 5 foot, 135 pounds. What made you want to fight in a brutal sport? And how'd you get into MMA?
Oh shit, that's if you ask my friends and everything, they don't think it was a surprise at all. To me, it was a little bit of a surprise. Of course, I grew up. I love martial arts movies, like anything karate or like action. I like automatically was into all the Jackie Chan's, the Bruce Lee's, the Jet Lee's. And then when I got older, I wrestled, and like any young kid, I followed the UFC. I followed the WC back in the day. It was always really interesting to me because these guys were, larger than life. They could like beat anybody ass. They were really cool. So eventually, after college came about, and I was done wrestling, but I wasn't done competing, and I couldn't really see myself just, coaching the rest of my life at this point. So I'm like, I might want to get into this MMA thing. And luckily, when I came back to my gym, we they had a great jujitsu program where my coach teaches. He's in Bellator. My assistant coach, he's in the UFC. So it really all came together for me. I just had the passion for it, and I found a great place, that could really develop my skills.
Got you. You wanted some of that action, champ. I understand. You defended your title twice in one day on Street Beefs. What motivated you to fight twice in one day, champ?
If I'm being totally honest, it's because the trips up there are long as shit. From here to there is about like 6.5 hours, and sometimes like my first fight was probably like less than a minute. So you got to think 6 hours there, 6 hours back for a minute. I said, I'm already coming out there. You might as well give me two guys. I take a little bit of a break and essentially get more bang for my buck while I'm up there.
Absolutely. Reckless Rico, who many believe was the guy for you to go up against, who was recently signed to former UFC star and current Bellator star Anthony Showtime Pettis' Showtime Group. Has Showtime Group reached out to you about management, and do you currently have a manager?
No, they haven't. Probably because I don't know, they're in Milwaukee, and I guess most of their fighters are kind of in that area, which makes it like way easy to manage. I don't know how well they could manage me, so far away. But I currently do not have any management or manager. I kind of just like all the social media stuff is run by me, and any advice that I need on the fight game or anything like that, I go to my coach because he's a long time vet of the game, and he knows all the ins and outs, so he kind of steers me on the right path.
Right. May 2nd, you announced your Street Beef chapter was closed, yet you've recently said you will come back to fight 925 Pride. Why did you close that chapter, and why is 925 Pride the fight you will come back for?
Oh, shout out to you for like picking that up. I know I threw that out in a video, but props to you for finding that. Honestly,
Right.
I'm I'm always I'm in this weird position where I want to be taken seriously as a fighter because I am. I have an amateur career. I'm planning on going pro soon, but
Okay.
the I do love Street Beats. Like it is where I got my start. A lot of people can see me there on like a larger scale, and just the fact like, bro, that's on the West Coast. I've never been to Cali, so I'm getting a fight. I'm getting to enjoy the Cali sun. And dude, he's a beast. He's super young. He reminds me a lot of my style. He's explosive. You see those slams. He just beat
Absolutely.
Carter Stone, who's a vet out there. So I'm like, yo, we're around the same weight. Uh, I think he's pursuing an amateur career, so we might like would meet up in a sanction fight somewhere. So I'm like, yo, I'm out there. I will fight him. I feel like he's the best one out there, and he's their champ, so it just makes sense.
Right. Street Beef set it up. Baby Hulk
Oh,
versus
yo,
925
yo,
Pride. Set that up,
send me my
Scarface.
ticket, send me my ticket, give me an In-N-Out burger, and we good.
Absolutely. You're currently training at a Bellator's John Salter's Salty Dog Jiu Jitsu gym where UFC fighter Joe Selecki trains. How is training in that
Yes,
atmosphere?
sir. Oh man, it's very eye opening. I always considered myself as a guy who works hard. I kind of pride myself on my work ethic, and people see that. But for me to see their work ethic is not even comparable. These guys do it at the highest level. They take no shortcuts. They take no days off. Multiple times a day in their coaching, they got to get their strength and conditioning in. They got to get their sparring, and they also got to spend time with family. So I see the dedication and discipline it takes for these guys at the highest level to do it, and it definitely gives me something to work towards. But then it also gives me an air of confidence. I'm like, I'm training under some of the best guys in the world, and they're teaching me, and I'm like, I'm soaking up all the knowledge. So that just gives me an air of confidence. Like nobody's training like we're training. Nobody's under the guys I'm under.
How much of an impact does John Salter have on your career at the moment?
Oh man, John's my guy. Like more than anything, he's like a legit friend, and I would consider him a mentor. He's huge for my career. Anything from technique advice, from fighter breakdowns of my opponents, or just navigating through the MMA game to put me in positions with potential promoters and stuff like that. So John and Joe have been nothing but helpful for me. Actually, dude, the first time I went in there and they stayed late to kind of give us one-on-one pointers, which was like crazy to me, like I said, because these guys are such high-level guys, and I'm literally some dude walking off the street asking how to throw punches and kicks, and they stayed there, and they really helped me.
Does John or any of your coaches feel you're ready to go pro? If so, do you think you're ready for the Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter, or do you guys feel you need a little more amateur experience?
Honestly, man, I am I think 3-1 right now. I'm 3-1. I'm an amateur champ. I have one fight set in November. and one fight set in January. And honestly, I feel like I'm getting there. It's definitely a couple of things I have to clean up before I go pro. The finer details that separate a pro from an amateur. But yeah, I'm in the right position. I work my ass off. I'm at a good age, and I feel like we can probably by the beginning of next year I'll be going pro, and snap off a couple of wins. The contender series would be great. I would love to fight over there in one. Actually, I'm a big, you know, Japanese MMA fan. Demetrius Johnson's over there. They got some of the best flyweights and lighter guys around. So I would love to fight for one. And any promotion that'll have me, just give me a guy, put a camera in front of my face, and I'm gonna try to make the best of it.
John has a professional MMA record of 18-5 and is currently the number 2 ranked middleweight in Bellator. Following his loss to Garrett Musi for the title, what was your thoughts on John's professional career and his future in Bellator?
Man, he's one of the best, not only in Bellator, but I feel like he's one of the best middleweights like in the world. Like his grappling credentials are crazy. He's a strong, durable guy, super technical, whether it's stand up or striking. Man, John could do whatever he wants. Honestly, if I'm sure he can make another run at that title if he wants, or any fight he wants. Like I think he's in a perfect position to kind of, get one win here. Somebody falls out, he's fighting for a title again.
What's your thoughts on Joe Selecki's split decision loss to Jared Gordon? He's 11-3 professional record and future in the UFC.
That was a hard one. Joe fought his ass off. He showed a lot of heart, and that just sometimes how he goes. Like he dominated the first, and the last two were kind of nip and tuck. It could have went either way. I personally, I'm biased as hell, but I thought Joe did enough to win. But dude, he was on a 3-fight win streak before that. This is his first derail against a UFC vet and Jared Gordon, and he lost by a split decision. Like Joe's gonna work it. Joe was back in the gym Monday training. Like these guys take no days off. They take nothing for granted, and this is just gonna motivate him more. And if you thought Joe Selecki was dangerous before, then just watch out now.
Shout out to John Salters and Joe Selecki.
Shout out,
John
gang.
And Joe went with you. Absolutely. John and Joe went with you to the wrestling match where you wrestled a guy more than a few weight classes above you. Take us back to that, champ. What was that experience like?
Yo, shout out to you, man. You asking the real questions out here. Man, just how it goes, man. I'm always competing, whether it's jiu-jitsu, wrestling, fuck it. Like, the more experience, the better for me. And just so happens, went to that and got matched up with a guy who's like 170. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened, but I'm not going to bitch and complain. I went out there, and he got his hand raised that night.
So when you were walking to the cage, is that the first time you've seen your opponent and knew?
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, they were pointing. I'm like, all right, who's your guy? Because my brother had a match, but all right, that's your guy. I'm like, who's this guy? I'm like, that guy. I'm like, nah, be for real. Who's the guy? And he was like, it's him. I was like, I don't make the rules. I don't, make the matches. So I just said, fuck it. Just went out there.
Right. He still couldn't do nothing with you. Who would you say is the most talented fighter? You try. I know. I see you, champ. Who would you say is the most talented fighter at Salty Dog right now?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get me in trouble. Most talented. See, we have so many studs out there. I'm gonna play it neutral, and I'm gonna say my teammate Stephanie. Like, she is a beast. She's actually a military trained boxer. She's a Golden Glove national. She has a lot of experience in wrestling, and she has all the characteristics, all the traits to be a star. She's good on her hands, good on the feet, great wrestling takedowns, and she's going to put on a show. So overall talent wise, I'd probably say it's my teammate Stephanie.
Shout out to Stephanie. Hopefully, we can have Stephanie on the show in the future. You've recently been fighting in Derek Brunson's fighting league. How's that experience compared to Street Beefs?
Oh man, it's great. Shout out to Derek for, if people don't know this, North Carolina doesn't actually have a boxing or MMA sanction commission. We just don't. So we have to go to South Carolina to do all our fights. And luckily, Derek has been in a position to, make these cards and give a lot of guys from the surrounding areas the promotion they need to, get seen out there. He's had fighters. I think recently Theo, he made it to Dana White's Contender Series. So I'm totally grateful for these. These give us a chance to really showcase our skills, and we don't got to travel across town to do it. Across
Absolutely.
the
It's a great
country to do it.
opportunity. Right. Well, have you personally met Derek Brunson? And if so, how was that encounter?
So Derek is like a town hero around here. He's from Wilmington. He went to my high school and he went to my college. We used to train at the same gym. He actually came to our wrestling program and beat me up personally. So yeah, I know Derek. Derek's a cool dude.
Right. Brunson recently defeated a tough Darren Till via submission in the third round. Who wins in the rematch between him and Adesanya?
That's a great question. Blonde Brunson is undefeated, so probably gonna go with the hometown guy. Honestly, man, like he's always had like the tools to be successful. He's a high level wrestler, has like power in his hands, and now he's with a great gym that can just fine tune and give him the right game plan. So honestly, I think Derek has the team and the traits to get Adesanya in a rematch.
Okay. If you were making your UFC debut, who would you want to fight and why?
That's a great question. The flyweights are awesome. I really like all of them. Who's the super? I guess like the obvious answer would be like Brandon Moreno, just because that guy is not only a great fighter, a testament of what hard work and determination to get you, but he's just a cool dude. He has the respect of pretty sure everybody on the roster, and he's just one of those good, genuine dudes. And for me to share like any type of canvas with him would be great.
How would you fight somebody like him?
Oh man, he's at that level, man. I know it would take me a couple years to get on like that super high level pro status, but yeah, he has great boxing, got great wrestling, got great cardio. I would just try to take the fight to him like he's a scrapper, try to stay in his face as much as I could and push his gas tank. See, like, who fades first. And if I could, get on top, land some big blows and, see where the fight goes after that.
Ground and pound. If you were making your Bellator debut, who would you fight and why?
That's easy. Sergio Pettis. Sergio Pettis is a beast. I've been a fan of him and his brother for years. I never thought the UFC should have let him go.
Fighters.
Or he should have.
Right.
Yeah, like great fighters, like awesome on the feet. And his style would be such an interesting one to be in front of because he throws all the flashy stuff and he has a great, ground game. But he would be a guy I feel like be a great fight against.
What's your thoughts on UFC's rising star Patty the Batty Pimblett?
Oh man, I won't even lie. I'm on the bandwagon. I am definitely on the bandwagon. He talks a good talk. He's funny. He's easily able to get behind, and like he fucking strapped. He put on a show, made it exciting, and talk this shit afterwards. So I'm definitely on the bandwagon.
Absolutely. Not only are you a big fan of both Michael Chandler and AJ McKee, but you said it would be a dream fight for you to watch the two clash. If you had to bet the house on it, who wins that fight?
Oh God, jeez, man. if I had kids, it'd be like trying to pick between kids. I'm, I'm a big fan of both of them, and honestly, if I had to put like the house on it, I would go with McKee. He's younger, uh, faster. He's just on top of the world right now, just winning that belt, and he's really long. I could see him putting on some good weight at 155. His chokes come out of nowhere. He's a high level
Nowhere.
wrestler, and wait, what you said?
I said nowhere. His chokes do come out of nowhere.
Yeah, like totally like that one against like Darian Caldwell. Like I've never even seen any like shit like that. So I'll give it to McKee.
Okay. How excited were you to see AJ beat Pitbull in dominated fashion?
Then again, I wasn't surprised. Like I obviously they dominated their way like through the tournament, multiple finishes and everything. But I was on the AJ train for a minute. Like he seemed to have the all the weapons you would need, and then seeing him, be a great wrestler like Caldwell, I'm like, okay. And then for him to get like that 8-second knockout over Carter Hanyan, I was like, yo, he is just his time. And luckily, well, not luckily, but when the pandemic happened and he had that injured knee, it gave him like a chance to recover and really heal it, and he could go into the Grand Prix, fresh and without that injury. I saw it coming, man. He's just a dog.
Right. And speaking of Michael Chandler, UFC 268, you have Usman versus Covington 2, Namajunas versus Zhang 2, Gaethje versus Chandler. Give us your thoughts and predictions on 3 of these fights.
All right, first one, Chandler versus Gaethje. That's going to be a car crash for as long as it lasts. If it gets out the first round, I'll be very surprised. Chandler can knock out anybody, and Gaethje can knock out anybody. It's who lands first, but I'm going with Chandler. Gotta go with Chandler. Second, Rose and Wei. I don't think that first fight was a fluke. I don't think it was anything like very surprising. I know Zhang is very, very tough, but I think Rose is the best at that weight class, regardless if she has the belt or not. And I feel like this is too quick for her coming back, honestly. Like, she's a dog. She really is. If it wasn't for that slam by Andrade, she maybe would have never lost it. And like I said, it's too fast. She just got knocked out. She really wanted this rematch. I know it's a whole bunch of pressure on her, and all that is not the best situation when Rose is just coming in there calm and already feeling like she's the best. So I got that for Rose. And in the main event, I got to go with Usman, pound for pound. Dude, he knock off a couple more of these guys, and they really gonna have to start talking about him being like the welterweight GOAT. Wrestling, hands looking way better, knocking people out. Yeah, he got everything.
Absolutely. Who do you like, Prom GSP or the Nigerian Nightmare?
That was like one of my dream matches that I mentioned. Like in Usman right now with his with Trevor Whitman, his boxing's looking nasty.
Phenomenal.
And GSP had a great jab, great everything, super, athletic. I think it comes down to, could GSP take Kamar down and hold him down? And that's really hard for me to say because I've never seen anybody do that to him. So, and I feel like Usman would hold some more power, and I don't think he would fade like maybe like a Johnny Hendricks did. Or I would probably go with Kamar, and that's gonna be crazy because GSP is one of my GOATs, but I think Usman will get him.
Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega for an instant classic. Give me your thoughts on that fight and both fighters.
First of all, I watched The Ultimate Fighter. Always a big Volkanovski fan. I wasn't really a big Brian Ortega fan, but after that fight, I'm a huge fan now.
How could you
I'm
not be?
actually really glad that they got this fight because it did both of them such a favor. You know, both guys came out looking so good, and especially for Volkanovski because I always felt he got a bad rap. Those two Max fights were really close. A lot of people thought Max won. Uh, they're just weird styles matchup. And before that, he had like a very technical, but maybe not the most fan friendly fight against Aldo. But right before then, he knocked out Chad Mendez, and he was knocking out a lot of the guys he fought in the UFC prior to that. So I was just really happy Volkanovski got a chance to showcase all the weapons he has. He's really good on his feet. You saw he had great submission defense, crazy ground and pound. I'm really surprised that that fight wasn't stopped, or maybe they thought about not having him come out for that fifth round because he ate some shots.
Who wins in a trilogy, Amanda Nunes or Valentina Shevchenko? Shevchenko, excuse me.
That's a hard one. I think it still comes down to I feel like Valentina is more technical and probably a better fighter, but just the size and strength of Amanda is going to be too much. Almost like I would compare it to Dominic Cruz versus Demetrius Johnson. I thought DJ was faster and he looked to be handling himself good on the feet, but when Dominic grabbed him and just was throwing him around, it's a size thing. So I feel like it'll still be close, but too strong and like able to use her size. I think Amanda will get it.
Right. If you could talk to Dana White of UFC, Scott Coker of Bellator, or Chatri from One Championship right now, what would you tell them to sell yourself as a fighter?
Oh man, to sell myself, I tell them I got a unique look. People seem to really gravitate towards me. I have a fan friendly style. I'm gonna go out there, try to get the finish. The fans are gonna love me. I'm gonna embrace the fans. I love social media. I do promotion. I'll try to raise up the brand as well as myself, and just give them a guy who's just gonna come in there disciplined, on weight, and ready to put on a show.
Okay. Do you have a striking coach yet? And who would you want to be your striking coach in a perfect world?
Shout out to my striking coach, Tyler Fiera. We just started, but I've seen he's a legit striker. I've seen, the work he's done with other guys. He's so knowledgeable. He's always breaking down film. And the really good thing I like about a coach is they ask my input. Of course, I know you know it, and if you feel like this is the best for me, we're gonna do it. But I like an input on like, what do you like? This is your style. How do you feel about this? So he incorporates me in on like all of our strategies. I worked with him my last fight, and I saw big, big benefits in my striking. So I'm with my boy, and man, I want us to be together maybe 2 or 3 years to really see like how much my striking grows. And in a perfect world, if I could have that's tough. Hmm. I really like I think it's Daniel Rodriguez from Team Alpha Male, their boxing coach, just because
Okay.
he already kind of deals with guys similar to me, like shorter, stockier, athletic wrestlers who can like generate a lot of power from close in. So his work with Chad Mendez, I always really like Chad Mendez boxing, and Josh Emmett. Like these guys hit hard, they can cut angles, they got beautiful footwork in and out, and they use that that overhand and those big hooks to set up their takedowns, and they take down, set up their hands. So probably Daniel Rodriguez.
Okay. Demetrius Johnson is fighting one of FC's stars, Rod Tang, December 5th. Who do you like in that fight?
Oh man, it's the GOAT all day. I know they're doing Muay Thai and MMA rounds. DJ will move around with him like, the first round. DJ has great stand up. So But as soon as that second round starts and he really gets to work the all-encompassing game like that he's the master at with the knees and the clinch and the takedowns and the submissions, I feel like it's going to be too much for him. Even though I'm a big fan of Rodtang and his striking in Muay Thai is top notch, but like once it gets to the second and fourth round where it's like MMA, I feel like DJ's just going to take over.
Okay. Francis Ngannou or Cyril Game?
Damn, that's so crazy because literally Cyril Gane is, I feel, better, almost as better than Ngannou everywhere. But dude, like that power, cancels all that shit out. I'm still a big Francis fan. I really don't know why they made an interim belt. I think that was fucked up for him. But I feel like him, and he kind of let it be known. He's like, hey, he kind of knows how it went during sparring, so he's not worried. One of them knows for sure. When you spar as much as they do, you definitely know who the guy is. So I'm going with him.
Right. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Poirier. Who do you have?
Poirier, man. I feel like the ground game definitely goes to Oliveira, but Dustin can handle himself on the ground. And I just really like Dustin's style. He's gritty. Love his boxing, his striking. Got great kicks. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. Gonna go everywhere, but it's just Dustin's time. Like he beat everybody. He's kind of widely regarded as like the best lightweight right now, even though like Oliveira has the belt. And I think that's the reason. I feel like the guys really know, and I feel like Poirier pulls it out.
Do you see John Jones taking over the heavyweight division and being the greatest of all time, or do you see a roadblock?
You mean like besides itself? Bro, like I don't even know what's going on with him, and
not including himself, just the roadblock.
Yeah, not including his. Okay, we're just talking about fighting wise. Like nobody's ever questioned how talented he is. But I think he automatically steps up. He beats almost everybody in the top 5. I feel like he beats like Derek Lewis and those guys, and he probably beat Gane. It all depends on like if he could get take those shots at heavyweight, but he could be really successful. If he could be champ, I'm not sure, but he could be really successful.
You announced you had a big fight coming soon. Could you give World Fight fans an exclusive right now?
Oh yeah, man. The only reason like it's out there and like it's all set up. The only reason I haven't really formally announced it because I'm waiting for like a fight promo. So I'm kind of, but nah, dude, I'll definitely say it here first. I am fighting November 13th in Winchester, Virginia, and it's actually a rematch of my last fight from Derek's card. This time it's going to be for a belt, and I like it. This guy before he fought me, he was 4-0, high level guy, been fighting for a while, good wrestler. I won the first time, but my dad always says like the most dangerous person is somebody you already beat. Now they know your style and like they got motivation, to work harder. So I'm super excited about that one. I'm really excited about putting another belt on the mantle. My other one is getting lonely. So
absolutely,
we're gonna go to Virginia. Put on a show for the people, sign some autographs, and bring that belt home to North Carolina.
That's peace. Huge boxing fight on this Saturday, the trilogy between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Are you checking that fight out? And if so, who you see winning and how?
Ah, man, like the build-up has been crazy. Am I gonna honestly, man? To catch it live, if I don't have anything better to do, I might. I just see it going like Tyson Fury's like that first one. Now that we look back at the second one where it was a draw, and a lot of people say he outboxed them aside for those 2 knockdowns. I just don't see how he wins because he's always going to fight the same way. He can't be like, okay, now I'm going to try to outbox Tyson Fury because he can't outbox Tyson Fury. So if the first 2 tries you couldn't put him away, and he's already, really familiar with your style. And the way the last one went was really bad. So I got Fury, but if I catch it, I catch it. I'm not too excited about it.
Okay. Let's wrap this interview up with some non-fight related questions, champ. What's your favorite hobby?
I Besides like fighting, I've really gotten to like the YouTube thing. I'm getting into video editing, even though it takes a lot of time and it's kind of hard sometimes. I like kind of creating that. I like to read. I'm big into, self motivation, self improvement. Meditate. I try to manifest. And besides that, I just like to chill with the homies. Go out, get food. I'm a big foodie. Watch movies, like anything like that.
Absolutely. What's the coolest place you've ever been to?
Oh shit. It might be cliche, but it'd probably be Disney, bro. Like Disney, as much as they said is like for kids, for me it was like one of the happiest places online. I got to go with classmates, bunch of rides, had, a good budget provided by the school, so could buy shit. It was just
You
really
definitely
fun.
need that.
Yeah, dude. Bro, they are expensive out there. But as far as like just rides and like the weather and just being around cool people, probably Disney was one of my favorite places to go.
Did you get one of those turkey legs, champ?
Nah. I was gonna get like the Mickey Mouse pancakes, but those shits were like $8. And I'm like, yo, y'all is wilding out here for
Right.
one.
We know you're big on anime. What's your favorite anime of all time?
Damn. It used to be Dragon Ball Z, and that's just because like a lot of people, that was like the first one I picked up. But like as I picked up more, honestly, it's probably Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and that's a lot of people's like go anime, but it has such a creative storyline. It has a great premise. The powers are really good. The side characters you care about. It doesn't last too long. It doesn't drag on. It's not like One Piece with 1,000 episodes. Uh, it's like good, clear, concise, great story, and it's one of 9.9 out of 10.
Right. We also know you play video games. What's your current favorite game at the moment?
Like that I'm playing or like all the time type shit.
Both.
Okay, all time. I'm a sucker for if any of you guys have played like Mass Effect 2. Bro, that like it made you put so much into it. You get, kind of attached to your team that you make. So I was really big into that. I tried to, save everybody, formulate the plan. So that one always sticks out to me. Right now, I'm still on, like, I always kind of come back to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, just because that game was so freaking big and it's like tons of missions and shit to do. And this time around, they gave you like powers and stuff. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey is always a fun one to go back to.
Okay. What's your favorite meal?
I'm a sucker. Like, I like pasta, a good like Alfredo, like chicken or shrimp. Um, I'm really big into breakfast food, bro. Like, I love pancakes, like turkey, bacon, eggs, all that good shit. So, pancakes, that's one of my favorite shits.
Okay. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Mm. It used to be Space Jam when I was like 14, but then I I was like, bro, that kid. I saw better movies. Oh shit, that's a good one. I really like The Dark Knight. Uh, The Dark Knight, that's really good. Batman movie. I like Marvel movies. Ragnarok was really funny. Of course, Endgame and Infinity War was awesome. Black Panther is really good. So most superhero movies I really fuck with. And like if I have to say all time, probably like Forrest Gump. That movie's a classic.
Yes, it is. Okay. Who's your favorite artist to listen to?
Oh, dude, I don't know if you heard of him, but it's a rapper out of Illinois called Montana 300.
I know Montana 300.
But like
Very lyrical rapper.
when I
Yep.
very very lyrical, I really like super witty with his wordplay, his his angles and his punchlines are awesome. He comes with a message. That's what's really important to me. I like, I want you to say something, but I also want you to stand behind something. So he has a really powerful message. He's really big into motivating people and kind of staying independent, not with the whole label thing. And he's just a dog, man. Like his aggression and like some of the shit that he just screams, like he's in my playlist. Like I turn that shit on and it's like
Yeah.
it's demon time for real. That man, he's a savage.
What does Baby Hawk need to do more of on his personal time?
On my personal time, got to be more disciplined with like time. I'm kind of like a flowy type guy. I'm like, oh, I work on something here. I kind of play with something there. Be more disciplined in it, and just kind of take time to like step back and relax. I practice gratitude, but I should probably practice it a lot more. I'm sure you can feel where I'm coming from when you're so busy grinding and you want more for yourself and you're after these things, you can kind of almost feel like you're underwater sometimes. So I gotta step back and be like, okay, this is good. This is gonna happen, but you can't stress yourself out about it and you can't make these things happen. You gotta work towards them and eventually there comes. So just stepping back, relaxing and just being more grateful.
100%. Who is Baby Hawk's idol?
That's easy. My father. My dad really kind of was the first person to show me like what hard work is like. Not always being, thanked for the hard work that you do, but doing it because you have to, and it's like the right thing to do. So my dad worked long hours and still come to my wrestling practices, still participate in my wrestling practice, come to my meets, come to my fights. He's my biggest supporter, my biggest fan. I talk to him all the time for advice and just, we just kick it all the time. So it's definitely my dad.
Shout out to Big Hawk. Before we go,
Yeah,
champ, do you have a message for the fans? Absolutely.
Oh man, if you guys follow
You have
me,
a,
I tried. I don't know if I you know adequately portray it, but I'm all about positivity and giving back. I don't believe that dude, you're just supposed to be to yourself and everything. Yo, if you can help your next fellow man, your neighbor, it doesn't take that much to say a kind word to help somebody out. And that positivity really goes a long way. You never know. You could be the inspiration in somebody else's life. So this really showed me. Like I get messages all the time saying people like I'm an inspiration. The fact that I could touch people's lives and maybe be one of the reasons that they change their life around or they might go after a goal that they didn't think they could achieve is the worst to me. So I'm constantly with practice gratitude, practice positivity, and try to inspire the next person, and try to make this world a better place.
100%. Where can the fans connect with you at, champ?
Man, you already know it's YouTube Baby Hope, Instagram Baby Hope _23. Twitch is coming soon. Merch is always out there. Coming back with the original shirts. I have a BJJ match in 2 weeks in Myrtle Beach. If you guys are in the area, come out. I got a fight November 13th in Virginia. Gonna be promo on that anywhere, but just search up Baby Hulk. I'm always doing some shit, and I try to get it to everybody.
Absolutely. World Fight fans here with the one and only David Baby Hawk Wilson. Thank you, champ. We appreciate you for joining the show.